Did you ever get close to getting married? What? So
this is getting a little personal.
But I'm gonna ask a different, and I'm gonna ask you from.
And by the way, again, I think this is sexist. Oh, the Christie point, when I was for Christie, they'd all say, "Oh, chubby chaser." I didn't even know what that meant. It's like,
first of all, I'm dying, because Anne Coulter, she called her a chubby chaser for being for Christie. That is hilarious. So what's up, y'all? This is a debate between Anne Coulter and PBD that I probably ran across a while ago and totally thought she was insane for it. But I don't know. You know, the darndest things will happen after some time has passed.
Girls who like fat guys to have sex with. No, this isn't a sexual thing. I want a wall. My social life is fine.
No, that's not what I'm asking. But the part I'm asking is, when you're saying this is getting kind of personal, it's a question. You don't have to answer it. You can simply say, I don't want to talk about it. I'm totally okay with that. No, I feel certain people are very hard to please.
I'm not hard to please.
Well, let me make my point. So, for example, I've had relationships
where... This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. He runs on building a wall. 4 years he doesn't build a wall.
No, it's fine.
Oh, you demand everything.
No, but I would...
can't please this woman. Are you mad?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just watching you.
Listen to this question.
So the point here is that Anne Coulter came out a while ago and was saying that she's done with Trump. This was a while ago, right? And she was even looking at Christie. Now, at the time when she was saying this stuff, I was like, she's insane. She's a hater. You know, he didn't get the wall because of all the pushback, which is still true. It's still true. I don't deny that. But, you know, I gotta say, she kind of saw something a lot earlier than other people ended up seeing it. People like myself, I should say. And again, things have definitely changed. I keep trying to figure out how to put it together, what I'm trying to say, but things have changed in the Trump campaign.
For me, I feel like there are certain people that you have to be very careful because they're either super gung-ho about you and like I've dated girls where relationship was unfreaking believably high peak. The peak was so high, it doesn't make any sense, right, on how high the peak was. Like, this is going to be freaking insane. But dude, talk about the low. The low was painful. You needed 15 therapists and friends and sponsored by tequila and vodka and whiskey to be able to tolerate the shitty low you would go through with this girl. I'm like, I can't tolerate this shit. And I've been around the block. I'm like you when you were talking about, first I wanted this girl, then so, you know, I wasn't the innocent one. Eventually I'm like, dude, I'm shutting it down. This is it. I want to build a family. I want to have a different kind of a life. And I never thought I was going to get married. I thought I was going to stay single for the rest of my life because no one was going to make me happy. And then I sat there and I said, is it going to be 100% of everything across the board? And then that's it?
By the way, guys, if you like these clips, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and the notification bell. I thank everybody who's been watching. Thank you so much. Really enjoy making these clips for you.
Is it going to be like, they have to give me, that's it? And then I'm not going to look at all the other stuff? You're clinging on one thing that I'm also not happy about. I wanted the border. I'm also not happy about that. By the way, a lot of the things he ran on, he should have done all of that stuff. He has to answer that question. A person like you has to give that question to a moderator in the presidential election that's coming up. Someone has to pose that question. I want to know what his answer is going to be. I'd like to see some other people that are his friends ask questions like that, Hannity and others, to actually ask those questions because I want to know. But at the same time, I don't know if any presidential candidate is going to be able to please Anne Coulter for 8 years. I don't think that's possible because I think that person's going to have to do everything you want them to do to win your favor, and it is so attractive to get your support because during the election there were certain people that are superstars that played a role of Trump winning in 2016. I think you're one of them. I think Kellyanne Conway was one of them.
She didn't support him until 2 months before the election. She was Cruz.
But I thought she played her role in those 2 months. I think she crushed it when she was.
She didn't show up and defend him for Access Hollywood. Anne did.
I understand. Again, I'm not putting you guys against each other.
So shout out to her. Like, I have to give PBD like the hard time. I have to give Anne her respect because she says what she's saying is I'm not Johnny come lately to the situation, right? Everybody came at to Trump 2 months before he was going to be elected or whatever, and I remember that time, right? It was like people were called crazy if they were a Trump supporter back in 2015, like early in the game. They were like, what's wrong with you? You supporting Trump? And so it wasn't easy to say that back then. It certainly wasn't as easy like it is now. It wasn't as easy back then to say that like it was in 2020. After you've had the report card and seen that, hey, maybe under Trump things weren't so bad. So I would say a 2015 supporter is VIP because it was not easy back then. And she's like, no, get it straight, okay?
Who's more than the other one? Your method of going out there and going after the enemy, you're fearless. You scare the crap out of the enemy. You're not a person that people sit there and like, you make people on the other side shake.
Yep.
Okay, so you played a role, she played a role, other people played a role, okay? But then we come to now, you're clinging on one thing, okay?
It's more than one thing.
Then unpack it if you're saying it's more than one thing. If you're saying it's more than just a border, what else?
Okay, a couple things. The reason I mentioned Kellyanne isn't, don't pull this, Seinfeld, catfight, isn't to say, no, I was for Trump a few weeks after he announced. And what I have noticed.
You were the first to make it clear. Everybody knows that.
And did you guys know this guy in 2015? Because I want confirmation on this point.
Adam, you did.
Okay, yeah. You're going to answer this.
No, Tom did, yeah.
A lot of us who supported, every single person I know who supported Trump in 2015, and everyone hated us for it. But a lot of my friends did. I mean, after LA, you see what the problem is before a lot of the rest of the country. I don't know one person who supported Donald Trump in 2015 who supports him now, who isn't betrayed. The people who support him now are the Johnny-come-latelys who absolutely opposed him. They were for Cruz, they were for Rubio, they didn't care about anything that Trump was running on. And then, screw it, he's the nominee. Let's see if we can get tax cuts out of him. They think it's magic that he won because they never understood why he won, because they never understand, and it's not just one issue. It's whether our country continues to exist is the issue. And as for your ex-girlfriend, you needed therapy and tequila and low was low, and it would go on and on. Now I understand why you're
sarcasm.
Now I know understand why you're willing to put up with Donald Trump, because I hit that and I'm out the door.
Yeah.
She's demolishing him. Like, she is demolishing him. Like, we do have to concede that she has put her foot down and demolished him. Now, one thing I hate about the human mind, the human psyche, and I'm going to be completely transparent. Would I have said she was demolishing him like 5 months ago? I hope I would have, right? Because I understand exactly where she's coming from today. 5 months ago, I wouldn't have understood it. These people are able to see the Trumpism quite early, and they see when Trumpism has left the building quite early. She saw it early. I have to give her props. There's nothing that she's saying here that I'm against. But remember, this interview is from a while ago. It is. It's from like about a year ago. Well, not a year, like a little bit before the primaries or whatever. So, so I'm not mad at her for what she's saying, because Trump does not sound the same. And there was, during the primary, I was still like Trump. But there was a moment when Chris Christie was speaking in the during the debates and stuff and everything. I was like, if I wasn't for Trump, I would be for Christie. I'm going to explain why. And I think I've said this on this channel before. I might be wrong. Maybe I've said it on a live stream. I like people who are unapologetically themselves. The only thing about Christie is I think he would have involved us in too many wars. But anyway, I'm afraid of the same thing with Trump now, so it doesn't matter, does it? I like people who don't care and they just say it how it is. Christie is one of them. I never hated when he would show up for the debates. I was like, the debate is going to be fire because he's there. And I did have a Christie governor in New Jersey, and I mean, he was a straightforward, a straight shooter. So, whether you like everything he does or not, I just like people who are themselves. Trump is not himself right now. He's not. He's saying things that don't make sense to me. He's talking about bringing in more people from outside of the country to work. I don't hear anything about mass deportations anymore. The other day he said he lost by a whisker. What is going on? All of us who've been sitting here like, they took the elect. And this guy comes like, oh, well, I did lose by a whisker. And I understand that there's some sort of context. You're not supposed to fix that. I would rather be like, yo, I don't even want to talk about it. Why are you on Lex Friedman's show talking about you lost by a whisker? What do you think that does to people from J6? So I don't understand what's going on with Trump. This is my issues with him. And I felt like this for a little while, but a lot of people were talking to me about it, and I kept making excuses. But after a while, I was like, I can't make any more excuses. There are still people who are making excuses. They get mad at the people who say this to them. You just hate Trump and you just want to see him lose. It's not that. But it's like you feel like, again, I told you in the last episode where they talking about garden variety, politicians. And I feel like he's garden variety now. She felt that. She feels betrayed because she thought she was going to get a wall. She thought she was going to get America back. Now, the only thing I would say to Anne is that he couldn't do all that in the first term. That second term, right after the first was going to be fired, he started to get rid of the Department of Education. He started doing a lot of different things. He was bringing certain people around him. This is when I paid attention. And yeah, I am a Johnny come lately because I paid attention. I was like, oh, shoot, this guy's making moves to do some real crazy stuff. Like he's getting radical. And that's why they were reporting on him and saying that he's losing his mind. He took us out of the WHO. So I was like, oh, that's it. He's making certain moves. And don't forget, there was a COVID that got in his way, all of that. So I can make a lot of excuses for the first term, explanations, whatever you want to call them. But this rhetoric that's coming out of Trump today, I can't back it up. I can't understand where it's coming from. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are they doing to him? Because this is crazy. He does not sound like himself. But she probably felt it earlier. I don't know. But then at this point, though, but for me, if it's not Trump, then there's nobody on the Republican ticket that I would have wanted anyway. There was never DeSantis, right? Okay, I'm saying Chris Christie would have had a shot, but I'm not really with him all the way. It's funny. Maybe I would have with Chris Christie. Who knows? Who really knows? But you don't have the Trumpism. That's what it is. It's Trumpism. So I understand what she's saying, but she's also tearing it up with PBD.
That sounds good when you're saying that. It's a good one-liner on what you're saying, but you still sound bitter and frustrated. Look what happened with a guy named Trevor Bauer.
That is just an insult.
It is. You're
not getting me. This is like being called a racist all day.
No, it's not. I'm not.
That's not an argument. I keep making arguments, and you keep saying you sound bitter. You got to come up with something other than you sound bitter.
Well, you do, though. You do. So, do you know what happened with Trevor Bauer? Do you know this guy named Trevor Bauer?
So, I don't even need to get into Trevor Bauer or whatever. She's right. He felt some type of way, and he called her bitter. Yo, I've actually never seen PBD like that. He's very balanced here. If you not balanced, he's maintaining his composure. When she said to him, like, now I see why you hold on to Trump. You went through all that because I would have been out the door. That kind of chipped a little nerve, because I've never seen him say something like that. Then he went first and said, well, you're just bitter. That's actually not an argument. She's just using your example to make the point. But he went as an ad hominem. I think he met his match with Anne Coulter. This is actually hilarious to watch. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.